So, welcome everyone. As you know, diversity is not a question mark anymore. Well, it shouldn't be. So, while women luckily gain space in many industries and also in management positions, we still see sometimes a gender gap. So, that's why I want to start a discussion with women in BPM. So, welcome to the fifth episode of Women in BPM. In this interview series, I am discussing with other women from the BPM area from their insight, their experience, their own success stories, their challenges. And I just want to understand how they came to BPM, what they like about BPM, and maybe also what makes women so good and so successful at BPM. And at some point, we also ask some fun and private stuff too. So today it's my pleasure to welcome Ariane Schulze. She is leading the internal control system at BWI. So herzlich willkommen, Ariane.
Dankeschön.
And a very warm welcome. So now we did switch to English again. So I said, it's my pleasure to welcome you today. Thanks for your participation in this interview series. And just to start with, maybe you can give me a little bit of a background about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation. My name is Ariane Schulze. I am 36 years old. I studied European Public Administration and Peace and Conflict Studies. And during my course of studies, I focused on security and foreign policy. So my heart, I'm a political scientist. But looking at my career, I started as an IT consultant. My first experience, I started in the field of business process management. And one of my first clients were the German Federal Armed Forces. And during these years, I also consulted a German airport, a political foundation, and other government agencies. And my current employer, BWI, or in German, BWI, which is the IT system house of the German Federal Armed Forces, was also one of my clients before I started my full-time job there. And I focused on business process management and the software that is related to BPM. And since 2008, I have worked with Aris, and I still do. Since last September, I have been team lead at the internal control system, and we are now on the way to implementing Aris Risk and Compliance Manager.
That sounds good. And yeah. I can hear the passion for processes in your voice and in the way you're telling your story. So this fits perfectly to the 30 years of Aris this year. And you are obviously very passionate about that. I can hear that. But before we go further, a very first question. I mean, you're in the IT. You're working a lot with the German army. So you couldn't have chosen two worlds that are more men-related than these two, right?
Correct. There are a lot of men all around. I remember when I was 22, I started to work as an IT consultant, and I was the only woman in the room. Yeah.
Has it changed since then?
A bit. You can see the change now. There are more women, and I'm glad that is happening. But there's still a long way or a long distance to go.
Mm-hmm. But I heard you're a leader in your team. So even if there are few women, it's not a problem to move forward, to make career somehow, and to get responsibility even as a woman, obviously.
No, that doesn't. It's. I don't know.
It's not a problem.
Matter. It's no problem at all to be a woman. I think it's more about passion, and luckily, some other women supported me. So
that brings me to one of my questions, I think. So, is there someone who inspires you, and why, or who helped you, maybe?
Yeah. Many people inspired me along my way. but to name one famous person, it's Madeleine Albright, the former Secretary of State under the Clinton administration and the former university professor at Georgetown University.
Mhm.
And I was really shocked as I heard she passed away in March this year.
Mhm.
And Madeleine Albright was a wise woman and who offered experienced pragmatism and surprisingly inconvenient observations. And she always promoted women to work more together and to push each other forward. And I have a favorite quote of Madeleine Albright, which is, it took me quite a long time to develop a voice, but now that I have it, I'm not going to be silent. And this is my favorite quote of her. And I really admire her because she
Uh-huh.
also said that the reason I made women's issue central to American foreign policy was not because I was a feminist, but because we know that societies are more stable if women are politically and economically empowered. And those are wise words, and those words are still present.
Oh, that's yeah, that sounds that resonates also to my ear, and indeed, I think that gives stability, and that explains something I saw on your LinkedIn profile. I see that you are volunteering, you're acting locally in politics. So you
Yes,
obviously took a lot of examples from her, right?
yes, yes, I took a lot. And it's very important that we take part as women, not only in economic stuff, but also in politics. And that's why I'm at I don't know the English expression for it, but it's the council of the state, I guess.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that sounds good. And that's also probably because you say it's important that we are in politics and also in business. So what motivated you somehow really to get involved into the IT? Because as you said, you studied politics. So you
Yes.
were not meant for that.
Not really, but
So
since school, I've been fascinated with the developments in IT. To combine specific topics with software and also be a specialist is really honoring. And furthermore, to pass on my knowledge to others and to put digitalization and automation forward makes my day. I really admire learning new tools, create ideas, and try out new software. This is really funny. And if we all look in our daily life, IT is everywhere, and we should learn to accept, learn to use it the best way we can. We should also use it to create a valuable future for all of us and build up a sustainable future with IT.
oh, I have a question on that later on. Keep that in your mind. Very good. So yeah, it's about, yeah, as you said, digitalization, knowledge sharing, passing on, learning new tools and new systems, and that's basically what seems to really excite you in this IT area, right?
Yes.
But I see that's the funny thing I think with processes. I mean, they are very tightly linked with IT, but process is business. So what does I mean, we are in this Women in BPM interview series. So what do processes mean to you, and why do you think, or what do you believe brings that IT forward, brings the world forward in that case? So what's the role of processes, to make it
Uh,
short?
yeah, most processes are um, connected to IT. We have standardized processes like we do in our daily life, using a toothbrush, for example. I mean, even those ones are now digital or automated, not digital, but automated.
And connected.
And connected. If you use Bluetooth, you can see how great you are brushing your teeth. It's really funny. So processes are also connected to IT all the way around. If we look,
Mhm.
I mean, even now we are talking to each other. We are using IT. It couldn't be possible if we won't have IT. So everything is connected to IT. I guess there are less processes who are not really connected with IT. And this is a special part, and it's interesting because you learn new software. I mean, we have all the hardware, which is also interesting,
Mm-hmm.
but we have a lot of different kinds of software and the development, even the development of apps, like we use it on our smartphones or tablets. It's really funny, and this is the spirit of our 21st century, to have digitalization and processes.
Mm-hmm. Well, hearing what you say, you're a very multi-faced person, so you have a lot of interest, so or diversity, we could say. So, um, is that maybe, in your opinion, one of the success factor of women in BPM? So, why do you think that many women are acting with processes with BPM? Is that this diversity looking everywhere? Do you see any other factors?
Yeah, definitely. Looking everywhere, be more generalistic. It's those kind of people who can look not only on one topic, but to see, oh, if you look at this one topic, there are implications on the other ones. And this is what I guess women can do a bit better than men. But there are still a lot of men who can do this as well. But I guess this is a special skill of women, to look everywhere and to combine those things and put those puzzle pieces together, that that the process is watched, or that we can see the process as a whole and not only one piece of it.
Yeah, and as you rightly said, it's not about saying women are better or men are better, whatever. So that's exactly the point. But there are some differences. So I think, and I think this being able of looking around all the time is probably something that we have since ages. Has this also, from your perspective, a lot to do with being able to connect with people? Process and people come along together.
As well, it's also a part of. We can look back into history when we see. This comes to my mind when we see back into history. We see those men who were responsible to hunt, to feed the family, and the women were those who connected everyone to keep them safe, that everyone feels good and has something to eat, is warm, took care of everything. And this is what is this stuff is still going on today, but on a different way. I mean, we are all women, and we take care of the processes. We figure out, or we try to figure out, that everyone is feeling heard, that everyone can say something and give their ideas and everything. And this is still going on today. Yeah. So I guess, it's because of our history and our nature. I mean, we cannot change ourselves.
Yeah, you mentioned safety. I guess it brings us back to what you do right now as a job. I mean, internal control system. It is about making sure everything is safe.
Yeah, everything is safe, and take care that all the people doing the processes in the right way. I mean, we are looking on, especially on financial processes. It's quite important that we have all those regulations, that we not going to put any failure on it. So yeah.
So that's probably where it comes from, your risk and control thing. Okay. That brings me to the game that we have in the middle of this interview series. I am sure you know about it.
Yes.
It's called This or That. And I give you two words as a choice. Well, sometimes people choose both. That happens, and that's okay. Just answer shortly or a little bit longer if you like the question I'm going to ask you. And I'm going to start in your specific case with a business question. So not the most funny one, but normally I have risk or compliance. That is my normal question normally. But in your case, because you're already so deep in that topic, I would say, what do you prefer, controls or policies?
Oh,
Or what would you choose?
uh, actually, neither of them, because I'm looking or are focused on solutions. So,
Okay.
yeah.
What do you mean with solutions in that case?
I'm more the optimistic part, not looking at the regulations or on the risk, but looking what can we do to that everyone is that we how to say it yeah that everyone is focused and that we have a good result. Yeah.
Perfect answer. I love it. So now, winter or summer?
More the winter type.
More the winter.
Yeah.
Means skiing, that kind of stuff.
No, but I not really skiing, but I don't like the hot summers we have now, so I prefer winter.
I can understand that very well, and I'm from France. So yes, I understand. A standard one, EPC or BPMN?
Actually, both. It depends on the focus. To
Mhm,
automate processes, I really prefer BPMN.
mhm.
But to keep it simple, I take EPC.
Okay. A more private one, well, a mixed one. Um, family reunion, so meeting your family or having a project escalation?
Our family reunion. Sure. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. And last one for you, wine or beer?
Uh, neither of them. I prefer water or tea.
Oh,
Um,
also nice. Which tea?
I prefer green tea with some flavors. The last tea I had was green tea flavored with lemon. Yeah.
Oh, love that. Green again. That brings me to my one of my last questions. So coming back to our discussion today, women in BPM. So if you would have to name one reason why the world would need more women in leadership, what would you say?
Oh, yeah. And here, back to Madeleine Albright. As
Okay.
mentioned, I'm a huge fan of her. Uh, with her quote, when she said, because we know that societies are more stable if women are politically and economically empowered. I guess not only societies benefit from women in charge, also large corporations, small and medium businesses, and even if we look closer, teams, they also benefit from diversity. And a lot of university studies have shown that mixed teams are more productive and that they have a positive working spirit.
Mhm.
And therefore, more women in leadership means also more participation. I guess we have around about 51% of the population who are women.
Mhm.
And so we should represent it accordingly. And if we take part in leadership in companies and politics, then we will form our future, which will not be only be formed by the point of view of men. Our point of view, our passion, our ideas should be heard and should be taken into consideration. Girls are as good in mathematics as boys, and we should encourage them.
Yeah.
And we should encourage especially girls to go their way in the field of natural sciences and businesses. And that's why we need more women in charge to form our future on the
Okay.
political, on the social, and on the economic side.
Okay. Oh, I love this answer. It sounds really, yeah, yeah, well, political, social, environmental too. So I think all these are big topics that we can positively influence indeed. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that brings me, well, you were talking about young women society. If you could go back, what kind of advice would you give yourself, maybe 20 years ago? What would you say?
Yeah. I would give my younger self the advice to be braver, to believe in myself, to try new things, and not to worry to fail. I would also give me the advice to learn coding. But actually, this advice I give even to my current self because I'm never too old to learn something new or start something new. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I saw you also on LinkedIn because LinkedIn says everything. I saw that you also had some next to the job learning, and you did some masters and all that kind of stuff. In addition, obviously, to your normal job, if I saw it right.
Yes. Uh, yeah. Uh, I finished an extra. How to say it in English? One moment.
A course,
I
maybe. No?
I finished the course last month, and now I am what is it called 30, certified process manager for digital transformation. I did
Oh.
this additionally to my job. Yes.
Oh, that sounds good. So you're obviously now very brave and you're shaping your future and the future of the society and business. I love
Yeah.
that. Did the same last year, by the way, but not this course. But yeah, seems it's a good one. Um, coming back to LinkedIn, I saw a quote on your LinkedIn profile, and I can't stop thinking about it since then. So, and you wrote, what you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what kind of difference you want to make.
Yeah.
Can you share more insights on that? I love it.
Yeah. I heard the quote the first time last year. I did a course called Female Leadership Program,
Mhm.
and I guess it fits perfectly to me because I if you are if you have those passion in your work, you can shape your surrounding. You can influence your surrounding. Everyone works with you, and if you have those passion, everyone is going with you. And this is the difference we can make if we have those passion in our daily work life. And even on the private side, if we are looking into more private on my on my political stuff I'm doing. So I have those passion, and I know when I have the passion, I have a lot of people coming with me, saying, "Yes, I'm going with you," even if the topic is not really happy, but or not
Mhm.
really satisfying. But if you have those passion, you can shape all the future around you.
Yeah, that brings leadership because you're not uh, saying to people you have to follow me, but they just follow you because they like the idea and the way you present the idea, right?
Yes,
I do
exactly.
think this is real leadership, by the way.
Yeah,
This is the right
definitely.
one.
Yeah.
One last question on this leadership thing, also in relation with processes and especially center of excellence. We were talking a little bit about that before, but do you think this ability to build relationships, to be in contact, maybe also this passion topic, do you think it is a success factor for, center of excellence roles or roles like yours?
Yeah, definitely. I even pushed the topic forward at the BWI together with my colleague. I established Center of Excellence in two kinds. First of all, for the process owner,
Mm-hmm.
um, to give them, or the focus was to give them a protected and semi-private space to
Mm-hmm.
discuss different kinds of topics, for example, strategic positions. And the second one is for process designer to address topics related to the BPM software. Um, so I pushed those topics forward. I guess it's really essential for every company to have such a center of excellence.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, Talking about center of excellence brings me back also to processes. And I said several times, I have a question I want to ask you. Now I come to that question. I do believe strongly that processes can make the world a better place. I guess everyone in listening to that know that. But I would like to have your view. So, do you think that processes can help in sustainability, in environmental and societal matters?
Yes, yes. I think it can help to know all the processes, to know what influences what kind of process step. Um, it will help. I heard that Aris has now an add-on for sustainability, and lucky me, I saw a preview 4 weeks ago in Bonn. If we know what impact a process can have on sustainability factors, we can influence them. If we know the key performance indicators, we can measure it and we can change it to something good, to know where we can have, for example, a less waste, or where we can save energy. It's an ongoing topic. I mean, if we look to the newspapers today, save energy is critical at this moment. So I guess if we know those factors or those key performance indicators and to use them, we can make a good, or we can even not only a good, but we can make an excellent sustainability and sector for the future.
Okay, I see we agree on that. And I was not influencing you. And so everyone listening right now, I didn't brief Ariane. She said it. But that's indeed where I see also this potential of finding out efficiencies and really one of my preferred sentence on that is sustainability only really becomes real if it comes down to processes. If you just have high level statement, it's not real, and it's just a bold statement and maybe some greenwashing which no one wants to have.
Yeah.
Okay. So I would like to have some final questions for you. One final question. So we talked a lot about women and your younger you and what kind of advice you would give to yourself. But if you would have some advice to give to a man, what would that be?
It would be listen to women, let them take part in discussions and workshops, encourage women to take part, and ask for a different perspective. We have different perspectives. I mean, even women have different perspectives. And one hint, please don't mansplain and don't repeat. We are living in the 21st century. That's not necessary.
Okay. Oh, that's great final words. And for me, this listen is good, because listening to women, to men, to younger, to older people is key anyhow. So that's it. Anything else you would like to add, Ariane, as we are finishing the interview right now? Oh, fine.
No, I'm fine.
Then I would like to say thank you. Dankeschön for your participation today. It was such a pleasure discussing with you. And
thank you very much. It was a pleasure for me as well.
And I must say, I learned a lot about politics. So I was not so deep inside, and I learned a lot about this great lady. So thanks a lot. Was exciting, insightful. And I'm very much looking forward to meet you in person at some point of time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward as well. Thanks.
So thank you everyone for listening, for watching, and please stay tuned. We are going to continue on this Women in BPM series. And we also have, by the way, a Passion for Processes series, because diversity is key. So I'm, of course, not only talking to women, but I'm talking to men too. So see you soon. Bye-bye.